So I heard about this man who has a hearing problem for years and years and years. And his doctor actually thought there was no solution for that. So they never did anything. So eventually one day, the doctor sent a message to this man, said, come to see me. There is a new technology. I think it's going to solve your problem. Well, the man goes to see his doctor, and the doctor said there is a new technology in hearing aids, and I think this is going to be amazing. So he gets this new device, this man, say, go home, come to see me back in a month. Okay? Month after, the man come back, the doctor runs some tests, and said, this is amazing. Your hearing was restored to 100%. Your family must be so happy. The guy said, no, I didn't tell anything to anybody. I just sits around listening to conversations. I already changed my will 3 times. I want to talk to you today about old angels and new angels. And actually, lots to reflect lately about many things that are going around in the world. Well, in Canada, we still have some things going on, like winter started, for instance, right? And we look around and say, oh no, not again. Snow, colder weather, lousy driving conditions, things that we were used to do after a few weeks ago, we can't do it anymore, at least not the same way. I have to go and change the entire wardrobe because I have to be prepared. On top of that, we watch the news and we follow closely the pandemic. Numbers are going up. What's going to happen now? Are we set up for new restrictions? Yes, no, I don't know. But we are bombarded by all these things that have the power to change our everyday life, all the way from season-related things to pandemic-related things to school-related things to work-related things, who knows? And we have all these feelings. And I don't know about you, but pretty much I would say human beings, when they are confronted with these situations, they all have pretty much the same feelings. You could feel, I don't know, fearful, anxious, sad, angry, and I don't know, probably the list is very long. If everyone around who's watching, you want to add in the chat some things to the list, please feel free, I want to read it after. What do you feel when you are confronted with these situations, right? But it's interesting that it is okay. It is okay to feel all those things. What is not okay is to dwell on those feelings. If you see in the Torah, the characters, they constantly have these kind of feelings. They feel sad, they feel fearful, they feel anxious, they feel depressed, they feel angry. They do express those feelings, but it's always for a short period of time. And they always find a way to move on and to leave behind those feelings. In other words, they do have those feelings, but they never dwell on those feelings. Perfect example is what happened in this week's portion, where we read about Jacob. Remember Jacob? He made a few mistakes in life, some very serious mistakes. For instance, he tricked his brother twice. Jacob wanted that firstborn rights more than anything else in life, but those belonged to Esau, his brother. So he created this scheme, first with a plate of food, and he got the monetary benefits of the firstborn rights. And then he tricks his father, and he also stole the special blessing that he was supposed to go to Esau, but now it came to Jacob. And then he realized the mistake he made, and now he was afraid of his brother's reaction. He was probably anxious. What is he going to do tomorrow? Am I going to still be alive? Am I going to be able to wake up next morning? I don't know. What is going to happen? He started to have all these questions. And things, according to the rabbis, even though we don't read it specifically in the Torah, started to escalate. and situations started to get worse and worse. Now it was totally out of Jacob's control. He wasn't in control of the situation anymore, so he decided to leave. Actually, his parents told him, if you care about your life, leave. Go somewhere else far away, to a faraway land. And it's not like today. You can go and Google how the land looks like. You can see how people live, what language they speak, what is the tipping tradition if you go to eat something to a restaurant. They didn't have anything like that. So Jacob had no information whatsoever or what to expect in this new place. If you were Jacob, how will you feel? How will you feel? If you feel that you have no control over what's going on in your own home, and now you have to go to a new land, a faraway land, how would you feel? Well, probably Jacob was human. He was probably afraid. He's probably anxious. He's probably a little bit angry because at the end of the day, it was his fault. So lots of feelings. But he didn't dwell on those feelings. And we know that he had those feelings because eventually this week's parsha said that when he was leaving his land in the middle of nowhere, it was nighttime, he needed to sleep. He fell asleep and he had this dream. You probably know the dream. The stairway to heaven. There's a song that name, right? Yeah. So, and in the dream, in this stairway, there were angels going up and then coming down. And then God was there as well, reassuring Jacob that everything was going to be okay. Eventually, Jacob wakes up, and what he said when he woke up is exactly what makes us understand his feelings. He said, Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh va'anochi lo yadati. God is here, even in this situation, and I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that situation. It means that right now, Jacob learned something that was not present in his life the day before. The Torah is telling us that up to that moment, Jacob thought, I'm on my own, I have nothing to do, God doesn't love me, God abandoned me. What am I going to do? But today, after this dream, Jacob said, no, I was wrong. Actually, even in this situation that it looks like I am at a disadvantage, it looks like there is no way that I can pull it through. Even in that situation, God is there with me. And that happened after that dream. How can that dream trigger this new mindset on Jacob? Well, lots of attempts to try to understand this dream. But one of the things that I discovered about it, and it's one of my favorite interpretations, is this fact that the angels first were going up and then they were coming down. And there is an explanation that said that the angels that they're going up are old angels, that they were with Jacob while he was living in the land of Israel in the house of his parents. He let go of those angels and he welcomed new ones that they will be with him in this new stage of his life. But what is that important? Aren't angels the same? Well, the rabbi said, not necessarily. Because sometimes, and this is our mistake for everything as human beings, whenever we read the Torah, we immediately get an image. So whenever we read malach, angel, we imagine this kind of little kid with wings, little chubby, right? But nowhere in the Torah we read that malachim, the angels, were like that. What the rabbis explained as the angel, when mentioned in the Torah, represents a situation. The angel represents a situation of awareness of something that it was evident, was in front of you, but you couldn't see it until that angel, whatever it is, could be a person, could be a situation, could be a book, could be a lecture, who knows? It's an angelic situation. Opened your eyes, and now you can see it. How do we know that? Well, we can go back a little bit in the Torah when we read the story of Hagar. Remember Hagar? Abraham's servant, and he was the mother of Ishmael. Eventually, because of Sarah's insistence, Abraham kicked them out of the house, Hagar and Ishmael. Hagar was in the middle of the desert now. She was dying of thirst. And then the Torah says that God sent an angel, and the angel opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well of water. Well, the Torah doesn't say that God miraculously made that well of water appear. The Torah says that the water was always there, but she couldn't see it. So the angel had to open her eyes, and now she was aware of that new situation. So the problem is that sometimes we have these angels in our lives that they are with us, helping us understanding a situation. So we can be functional in that situation. But then the situation changes. And with that happening, it's almost like, so to speak, we need new angels to help us understand and to succeed in this new situation. So in order to do that, first you have to let go the old angels and to welcome new ones. And that's exactly what Jacob did after that dream. So in other words, to get rid of all those feelings that he developed in his home for what he did or for what happened to him, first he needed to change his mindset to the new situation. And as soon as he did that, then he found opportunity in the land of Haran, in this new land that he went to dwell for, I think, something like 20 years. And now he could be functional and successful in that place as well. But I believe this is a reminder to all of us that sometimes we are stuck with old angels. Because sometimes, let's be honest, it takes years for us to understand and to flourish and to be successful in one specific situation. And we feel great. But then sometimes what happens, the situation changes. And we hold to those old angels and we don't let them go so we can embrace the new one that have the power to open our eyes, to see the new things, to react and to do something so we can let go all the feelings that we develop when we insist that we should hold the old angels. This is something that we should learn, for example, with the seasons. Doesn't make any sense for me to keep hold of everything that I did in the summer, now that the winter starts. I wouldn't dare to go out with shorts and short sleeves. Doesn't make any sense. I'm going to be cold. So I need a coat. I need boots. I need mittens. I need a toque. I don't know. I like to swim in the summer. I have a beautiful pool in the backyard. I wouldn't dare to do that. I would probably break my head because it's all ice now, on top of being cold. So you adapt. But if I will fool myself to think that it's still summer, that's exactly what is going to happen. So if we understand that about winter, how come we don't understand that about other things in life? When we see things changing, but we still get hold to the old ways of doing things. So this parsha is beautiful teaching that feeling sometimes negative things, it's okay, but never dwell on them. Find ways to get rid of the old angels, embrace new ones, so you can do something. You can move forward, and you can flourish, and to be the best you in any situation that we may be living in our lives.